As soon as I saw the Ryan Leaf had talked to the team, the first question that came to my mind was, how quickly is somebody going to post on Twitter the Jane Daniels video? Now, if you don't remember, in 2023, Ryan Leaf, who, by the way, has been a guest on this show, like Ryan's always treated us well. Anytime we've asked him, we've been on his platform. He's been on this one. I was wondering how quickly on Twitter it was going to take somebody to see Ryan Leaf talking to LSU and then clip the video of him and post it on Twitter of him saying that he would be a backup in Washington and that he would be a backup at Oregon behind Bo Nix and Michael Penix. I was wondering. 3 minutes and 57 seconds after the video was posted, I was reminded of it. Now, I don't know if it's really 3 minutes and 57 seconds, but damn near close. Damn near very close to what was happening. Just because a messenger had an opinion does not mean the message that he has now is invalid. I do think that Ryan Leaf, who did speak to the team, I guess either today, yesterday, Saturday, whatever it was, but he had some words for LSU. And just because you might not agree with everything the messenger says doesn't mean what the messenger has to say is wrong. There was something that Ryan Leaf did say in there, though, and it doesn't come from Blake Ruffino. You can go see it yourself. Ryan Leaf was also at practice, I would assume today. And if my assumptions are correct, he asked the offense, man, the defense got after your ass today. What are you going to do about it? Moving forward was the message that he sent. That's a damn good question, isn't it? But did Ryan Leaf accidentally tell you something without telling you something? The bottom line is this. He was massively wrong about Jane Daniels, as a lot of people were wrong about him the Heisman Trophy winning year. A lot of people were. Not just Ryan Leaf. A lot of people were. He's the NFL Rookie of the Year. He's one game away from the Super Bowl. But the real question remains, for me, is how many people are going to be wrong for you this season if you're LSU? What are the big concerns? Well, the big concerns are simple. You can't run the football. You got shakeup along your offensive line. And offensively, you haven't done great. That has been the complaints. What are you going to do about it? Will be the ultimate question mark tonight and tomorrow and for the entire season. But I do think that as people are doubting you, there's a couple of things that we as LSU fans need to look into. And it's very simple. When you look at LSU's season, when you look at the 2025 season, I think that there's something that's been missed by at least our media corps, or at least maybe there hasn't been a big public-wide discussion about this. But make no mistake about it. I do think that LSU, or at least I feel like I could make the argument that LSU has the toughest schedule in the country. Now, you can say, well, Blake, you don't face Texas and Georgia in this schedule, okay? And they might be the two best teams in your division or in your conference, excuse me. Yeah, you're very well truthful in that. But LSU faces off against 7 preseason top 25 opponents, more than almost everybody, more than 130 programs in the country. In the month of September alone, you will go up against 2 Heisman-worthy trophy candidates, that being Cade Klubnik in week 1 and that being DJ Lagway. And what we haven't looked at enough, and I've said this multiple times, we haven't done a deep dive really on it, because I've always come to the conclusion of it doesn't really matter who you play. We break the games down regardless. LSU might not be in Atlanta this year, but if they are, if they're in the playoff, guys, it would have meant that Brian Kelly went through one of the toughest schedules in the country. Have you prepared for that? If you're a team, have you prepared for that as a staff? Have you looked yourself in the mirror and said, enough is enough? Because there's a lot on you going into the season. Your back is theoretically up against the wall. This staff's back is up against the wall. This head coach's back is up against the wall. He feels the tension. These players, their backs are up against the wall, and us as a fan base. But the bottom line remains, guys, you have 7 what could be high-quality playoff opponents that you face off against this season. Clemson, Florida, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas A&M. Guys, all of those teams are ranked. And then mid-season, you go to Oxford. 7 teams are ranked. Now, do I think that you can be more talented and are more talented than them? Actually, yes, I do. I think that the biggest strengths for some of those teams might be some of your biggest weaknesses. I do think that for Clemson, and I do think that for Alabama. But can you go and do what most people think that you cannot do? Because see, most people believe that regardless of what is going on, because people are casting you aside. Now, there are some people that are high on you, and that's fine. Sellers with South Carolina, I see that in the chat. Yes, South Carolina and Sellers too. Which, by the way, I don't know if y'all know this. Lenore Sellers broke Cam Newton's broken tackle record in the month of November, by the way. Shout out to Cam Newton for getting his jersey retired. But regardless of all of that, regardless of all of it, have you been doing what you need to do? You have question marks. Will you go out there and answer them? Guys, we're here. The talking season's over. Really. From a media core, we have one more practice. One more. Brian Kelly locked the doors today. That's cool. He said, hey, y'all were supposed to come today. Nope, I'm going to let you come on Saturday during the scrimmage. I would rather that. I would much rather that. But what are you going to do about it? I feel as if that there's a fork in the road. The fork in the road for LSU is simple. To the left side is you living up to the potential of who you are as a program. Getting to a minimum 10-2 on the season, getting a playoff berth, maybe making some noise in the playoff, and showing, hey, you know what? LSU had its struggles in the early tenure of Brian Kelly. They figured it out. They're moving some things. And then looking forward into the season and into next season, you could say to yourself, well, you know what? Brian Kelly did have 39 scholarship players when he got here. Maybe they excelled a little bit too early because they had guys like Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors. Maybe that is the case. But if you take the left side of the road and you say to yourself, you're going to a playoff, okay, we are one of the 12 best teams in the country, and we should be there every year. And then there's a right side of the road. The other fork in this equation. Do you go 9-3? Do you go 8-4? Can you not finish football games? Can you not run the football? Can your defense stop a running quarterback? Which one is it going to be? And guys, the truth of it is, it's a fine line on which one you're going to pick. It's a very fine line. This season, unlike most others, is a gauntlet of opponents that you're going to face. So as we're getting here to the season and quote unquote shit is starting to become real, it should have been real to you from the beginning. Because if you're going to get to the playoff, you're going to have to walk through some damn good opponents. And the bottom line is that I keep seeing in our chat, which by the way, new record high for AYS YouTube, and we're halfway through the month. Just 4 days of the halfway point. 19 days into it, we've broken records in the month of August. I understand your intensity for this season. I understand how high that you have for this season, how high you are, and you should be. There's a lot of stars that do align for LSU, but make no mistake about it. Some of the things that I'm seeing in the comments, looking down on opponents. I interacted with a lot of you today on the comments on YouTube. And in those comments, you were saying either this guy doesn't know ball, or this guy doesn't know this, or this team is trash. And I asked you a lot of questions. Name 5 players without Google. You say Bama's trash. Outside of Ty Simpson and Ryan Williams and Jam Miller, name 5 more players. I didn't get responses. This guy doesn't know ball. I asked 4 of you to tell me what a 3 technique was, and you didn't respond to it. You didn't respond to it. Why? If LSU is going to get to the promised land, it's going to be one of those seasons that sets you up for what is to come. I think you are talented enough to beat Florida, to beat South Carolina, to beat Clemson, to beat Alabama. I think you could win every one of your games. You have the ability to go out there and win every single one of the football games that you'll play in. Oklahoma, all of them. You also have shown that you cannot finish games the last 2 seasons. What fork in the road are you going to pick? Outside of 2019, the last time that LSU got to 10 wins in the regular season was 2010. Les Miles is fired. Ed Orgeron ultimately fired because LSU has been a place where the 10-win moniker in the regular season should be what continues to happen constantly. Because it is what it is. If you're going to do it, you're going to walk through some damn good teams. And I saw way too much of that today. All right. Let's get after it. Brambo says, yeah, well, House was asked after guys like BJ and Ward left. Yeah, I don't think the personnel was great either. Brambo, what you can't say was the personnel was bad for Blake Baker and then turn around and say the personnel wasn't great for Blake Baker. Or you can't say the personnel was bad for Blake Baker and then have majority of the same personnel for House and say, well, it was House. There's a fine line there. Right? I don't like Matt House either. I don't think he was a great DC. But it also comes a point in time where you look at this and say you can't give one guy an excuse and not the other. Drury on YouTube says, thank you, Blake, for the time you put in to keep us informed as much as we're all ready for kickoff. I know you will be counting down the most. You have no idea. And if LSU wins, guys, I'm listen. We started this in 2017, on and off, really took off in 2020, and now we've gotten to a point where, guys, we're one of, if not the biggest LSU media content consumed. Please go look at our live numbers to everybody else's and then come back to me if you believe that's not the case. What I would say here is this, in reference to that question. The media, like it, love it, or hate it, wants one of 2 things. Either they want Brian Kelly fired because a coaching search will bring all of us a shitload of money. Or we want you to be very freaking good and get to the playoff. Because that also will bring us money. I've told you this. Outside of this month, the biggest months that AYS has ever made, has been last season when we went to Omaha, and then in 2023, and the very beginning stages of 2019, and then sporadically when you beat Alabama and stuff like that. Nothing trumps the 2022 Bama, us beating Bama. Still the number 1 highest viewed content, downloads, all of it. I want us to be great. But what I'm not going to do for you, is I'm not going to come out here and lie to you. Now, there was some chatter in the chat last night, and things kind of went into left field. And there's a reason why I'm addressing all of this. You are taking words of people that aren't at practice over people's words that are. I'll leave it there. So, yeah. I am just a vibe. A Clemson fan says, I'm looking forward to going to Baton Rouge next year. Hopefully next year is a night game as well. Well, bring some headphones. And then I want you to scream, vibe. What I want you to do is go in a crowd of LSU fans and say, hey, oh, and see what they respond. I think the initials of the next words that are out of their mouth go something like STTDB. Look that up if you don't know what it is. Jerry Morrison with a $5 super chat says, Blake, in your opinion, is it better for the running game to change is it better for the running game to change scheme? Potentially. Or just start getting more creative with screens? Thank you for all you do. Jerry, I would say both. I think that there was a reason yesterday. I think there was a reason that Sloan lost his godforsaken mind yesterday in the screen game with the wide receivers. He was not with the quarterbacks in first team where he always is. Guys, they're going to have to find extensions. And when we come out of this break, Carter Bryant joins us at 7:30. We're going to get to a quick break. When we come right out of it, BK had a lot of things to say we got to get to. We got to get to it. What is your offensive line right now? Is Brian Kelly validating some of those concerns? So, anyway. All right. Tiger droppings from. I don't know how y'all get on that cesspool. I really, really don't. You know why I mainly don't? Because I'm normally over with our good friends over at FanDuel. Guys, I do think Garrett's shown a lot of promise. And there's been a lot of times I've been wanting to sprinkle a little John Daly pizza money on Garrett Nussmeier plus 900 on the Heisman. The number one place you can do that was our good friends over at FanDuel. The number one sports book inside the state of Louisiana. Also the number one sports book in the United States of America. Go to FanDuel today. Sign up. Maybe soon we'll have some cash for you when you sign in if you use a promo code. But go to FanDuel if you haven't done so today. Sign up. Bet responsibly. If you don't know what you're doing, don't go over there and gamble. But bet responsibly. And everything we appreciate our good friends over at FanDuel. But if you do have a problem, go to 1-800-GAMBLER or FanDuel.com/RG. It's FanDuel.com/RG. But bet responsibly. I have made a little funny bet with myself. Every single week of college football this year, I'm doing a $1 20-leg parlay every Saturday. A $1 20-leg parlay. I'm going to bet $1 every Saturday and try to see if I can guess 20 games in a row correctly. See if we can do it, man. Wouldn't that be fun? You know where we're doing that? FanDuel. Thank you to all our friends over at FanDuel. All right. Let's do this. Everybody do us a favor. Hit the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell. And wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Let me get to a quick break. When we come back, Brian Kelly talks about the offensive line, gives a lot of updates of what he sees through camp. We'll talk about that next. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man. He's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler. He'll shoot you straight.
Hey, guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick. Brandon, you gotta put me back on screen, big dog, so they can see my ugly face. All right, let's get to it here. Before we get to Brian Kelly's press conference, the Auburn Tigers made an ass of themselves today as they claimed 9 national titles, one of them being in 1958, the one that LSU won outright, allegedly. Auburn, number one, you're very soft for claiming 9 national titles. I think that's very stupid in an era that you didn't even play it. Now, Alabama did it for years. There were some years that Alabama did it and they were third in the SEC in the standings. How that happened, I have no idea. But nevertheless, they're trying to take away Billy Cannon's national title. By the way, didn't they have some common opponents like Kentucky where LSU blew out Kentucky and Auburn could barely win? Just throwing that out there. Here's my God's honest opinion of national titles. I don't consider anybody a national title winner until from 1997 into the past. Nobody's a national champion for me because you didn't play for it. The BCS got here and you started playing for it. That's national championship winners to me. When Miami and Ohio State, when Texas and USC, when LSU and Oklahoma, you name it. Those are your national champions because they played for them. I don't really want to hear about the rest of history. Guys, think about this. Think about what you know about the media today and understand that those people were voting for a national title winner. Think about that, and you know how crazy media is. All right, let's get to it here. Brian Kelly met with the media today, gave up a couple of updates on some injuries, said Whit Weeks was load management. I wonder if we talked about that last night. Harold Perkins was on a quote-unquote personal day, had to take care of some things, but he was back today. And he talked about Michael Van Buren, who had looked like he had his fingers taped. I had thought that he had, based off of what it looked like yesterday, that maybe he had broken a finger. But Brian Kelly says that Michael Van Buren jammed his index finger while throwing the ball. He will be actively throwing the football tomorrow. So really good news. God forbid, knock on fake wood, that Garrett Nussmeier does get a little bit of an injury. Michael Van Buren looks like if he's going to be able to throw, that it was just jammed and he's going to be ready. He's going to be fine and ready to go. Have you noticed this, by the way, in every year under Brian Kelly, that at least one time a quarterback has gone down for injury in a season and the backups had to come in? You've had Garrett, in the Jaden years. Think about Georgia in the SEC championship game. You think of him coming in against Alabama when Jaden Daniels got concussed because of an illegal hit that they didn't call because they love Alabama. All of that stuff. Last year, A.J. Swan had to come in against Oklahoma, if you remember, when that game was looking pretty dire. So good to have Michael Van Buren back. He will be your second-team quarterback regardless. Brian Kelly updated the offensive line. So yesterday, in case you missed it, Karius Kern got moved to right tackle. And Brian Kelly said today that there are 3 positions that have been, quote-unquote, locked down. Tyree Adams at left tackle, which we have not seen a starting left tackle not named Tyree Adams at left tackle. And Brian Kelly said that, look, there was no other job. Tyree flat out won it, and he's going to stay there. Seems like Brian Kelly's pretty bullish on Tyree Adams. Hadn't heard Tyree Adams' name a lot this camp, by the way. I just don't remember, outside of some Patrick Payton bat downs on Garrett Nussmeier, me ever seeing a rep where Tyree Adams got flat out beat bad. I don't remember that. So he's locked down left tackle. Right guard is going to be Josh Thompson. I still have my reservations about that, and we'll get to that in just a moment. And center is going to be Braylon Moore. That's what they're going to roll out with per Brian Kelly. And again, knock on one, per injuries. Those are going to be the three guys that are going to lock down the spot and where they're going to be. He also addressed left guard and right tackle. In the first part of the press conference, Brian Kelly did not bring up DJ Chester. In not bringing up DJ Chester, I think he forgot to mention DJ. We'll see on Saturday how things start rotating. But like we talked about last night, Paul Mabinga took all first-team reps yesterday. They don't like DJ at guard right now. He ran with the second team at center. Paul Mabinga was out. We tweeted about this. Brian Kelly also brought up Cohen Eccles. I still think it's a three-man race at left guard. I don't think DJ Chester did enough to lock that position down. I don't think the guard positions, both of them, neither one of them locked that down, to be honest with you. But they're trying to figure it out at left guard. Carius Kern getting moved to right tackle is interesting for me. The reason it's interesting to me is because I've been wondering and begging if they are going to put him at guard to figure it out. I understand that Weston Davis, you're trying to, get him going. You're trying to get Carius Kern some reps to see if he can play right tackle. I still am going to say this until I'm blue in the face, as blue as this shirt. I want to see him at guard. I do not believe he's a tackle. I just don't. I know they're trying to get him reps and that he's athletic enough to play tackle, is at least what they think. I don't think the three guys that are battling it out for left guard will give you better reps than Carius Kern. In the long term, I don't. Not right now. And if they do, at least we have seen it. So in the update for Brian Kelly, Weston Davis and Carius Kern are going to be battling at right tackle, and you got to battle at left guard. We'll go into depth with that with Carter here in just a minute. Let me just say this before we get to Carter and we talk about it with him. Guys, last week, Brian Kelly came out and said that we feel really good about our offensive line. We feel like it's going to be a good one. Did he really believe that, or was it just coach speak? When you start saying that and then you're shuffling the offensive line, starts feeling a lot like coach speak. They have not been great. They have not been great. So you take that for what you will. But you better buckle up that chin strap and get to moving, dog. They haven't been great. That's why the shakeup's there. It's not because, Tyree wasn't going to get beat out. Hell no. Paul Mabinga started and has been with the first team because things haven't been going well. Carius Kern, hey man, Weston, you better figure it out because we're not going to put up with it. Take it for what you will. Brian Kelly confirmed that we'll be doing another night scrimmage on Saturday. That's going to be a good one. We'll be there. Brian, two other things I want to get to here before we talk about or we get with Carter. The wide receiver room with Chris Hilton and Barion Brown. I do think Garrett and Barion have found a really good connection last couple of weeks. Brian Kelly was asked about, hey, when Chris Hilton went out last year, it seemed like you wanted to push the ball down the field, but you couldn't, and he made a joke about it. He goes, you think? I think they really hated not being able to have Chris Hilton. Guys, they're going to try to push the ball down the field a lot. If you're Clemson or you're a Clemson fan, I'm just going to let you know they're going to push the ball down the field. I do think LSU's game plan early will be to dump it off, getting us in a rhythm, get him into the game, and then they'll start throwing that thing long. Pause. But not really. I think that's going to be LSU's game plan. We'll see if it is or if it isn't. Guys, they got a lot of speed. How do they utilize that speed? Can you have that level of speed. And I thought Brian Kelly bringing up Jelani Watkins today saying, listen, man, we might need to throw Jelani in some stuff. I don't disagree with him. But I also get to a situation in a place where can you be creative enough to use that speed? Everybody can run a fade route. If people know a fade route's coming, they know how to defend it. Can you throw Chris Hilton a slant? Can you throw Barry on a slant and say, hey, man, y'all want to bail out? We're going to continue to throw underneath. See how it goes. So we'll see. Last thing Brian Kelly said that I thought was of relevance today was about special teams. He talked about Ahmad Anan, the analyst from Grambling. Because if there's one thing that I am very bullish on, I do think you're going to be a lot better on special teams. Brian Kelly brought up today, like, listen, we couldn't flip the field on special teams at all last year. We were horrible. And he started off the press conference by saying, I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. Basically, what he was saying at punter last year, we sucked because we did suck. We are 15 out of 16 teams in special teams when it comes to punting yard average. We sucked. I think Chadwick has been pretty good. They've let Aaron Burrell punt, see if he can get some deep balls down the field and flip the field here. And they've been a lot better there. Ahmad Anan has made special teams look like a real coordinator is running it. Like he's done this at a big program before because, guys, he has. Baylor, Penn State, you name it. He goes to some lower tier schools like Tarleton State and Grambling because he wants to be a position coach too. Then he gets to LSU as a special teams coordinator, and analysts are a different role now than they were when he was at Penn State and Baylor. I think you're going to be a lot better on special teams. You got to flip the field because I do think you'll be better defensively. And when you are better defensively, well, flipping the field will be a big thing. All right. We got a couple super chats here. Mr. Jolly said, with a $10 super chat, says, I just wanted to get my comment up here. I watch the show all the time. Let's MF and go. Well, thank you so much for that super chat. You can comment anytime. Sometimes we'll try to get into them. But thank you for being here. I greatly, greatly appreciate you listening in. Cajun Curveball with the $5 super chat says, Blake, our fans really have lost it. We haven't earned talking down on any team, and the folks saying that's O-line will be just fine don't watch you. No, they don't. Or they don't watch any media content, LSU content, because I think a lot of people has been saying it. Is this defensive line that good? I think they can be. And Brian Kelly brought up the edge room today. He finally said the inevitable. Guys, Brian Kelly finally said the inevitable today, and I left this out of there for a reason. He also talked about the edge room and said, hey, this edge unit might be pretty freaking good. Like, guys, we're going to have to find some spots for Patrick Payton. It's what he said. Yeah, it's because Gabe Relaford's been going dumb diddy dumb dumb. Ask Weston Davis. Ask Jack Pyburn. So, yes. Watch them go out in the regular season and dominate some teams because the team in front of them was just really freaking good. I hope that that's the case. I really, really do. We haven't had the right to talk down to anybody. Doing some of the things we do is foolish. I had somebody come in there today saying I'm a dumbass, and because that super chat was about me and what we're talking about earlier. I had somebody telling me I'm a dumbass for not having I'm too doom and gloom, and I'm a dumbass. So what I did is I sent a link for our prediction for the season from last year, and I said I feel like you're more of an 8-4, 9-3 team. Was my exact quote. I sent him the link and gave him the timestamp. This guy who was ever on Twitter gave him the link and the timestamp. I was like, I can't be doom and gloom. Blake Ruffino cannot be doom and gloom and say you're an 8-4, 9-3 team and then that happening. It's just not. It doesn't exist. In reference to this offensive line, I'll say this, and we're going to Carter next, I promise. Because you don't have shakeup like that if things are going well. You don't have Weston Davis taking those reps with the first team. You don't have Paul Mabenga instead of DJ Chester if things went okay. You just don't. So, all right. Carter Bryant joins us next. Need to talk about our good friends over at Service Talk Digital Media, guys, with the right lead, smart systems, and real growth. You need to get a marketing system that works for you today. Go to servicehawk.io. That's servicehawk.io today. If you're an HVAC, electrical pro, generator pro, or if you run a small business, own a business, and you know that you need the best marketing inside the state of Louisiana. There's a reason that ServiceHawk was rated the number one marketing firm inside the state of Louisiana. That's why they continue to win the awards for their marketing practices, because they are the best. Right leads, smart systems, real growth. That is what our good friends Lee and Justin will do for you over at ServiceHawk Digital Marketing. Let them know in the comment section. Your good friend Blake sent you on by. Guys, I'm telling you, I've been in the marketing game, media game for a while. They're the best in the business at what they do, so get over there to them today. Let me get to a quick break. Carter Bryant joins us next. Stay with us. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by. We're back. Carter, the Power Bryant. Good evening, good sir. How are you?
Blake, we are here, baby. I'm with the freaking GOAT of LSU media, Mr. Ruffino, just dropping dimes left and right. And look, man, we are one day closer to actual tackle football. I have a question for you, Mr. Blake.
All right.
Because I know it's your show, and you should be asking me questions because I'm your guest. But where would you rank Brian Kelly in the SEC coach hierarchy right now?
5.
Yeah, I'm 5. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then what would your top 5 be? I'm sure you've done this exercise quite a bit, not only here, but Ruffino and Joe show.
Off the top of my head, it would go something to some extent, probably Kirby.
Yeah.
Sark. Now I'm having trouble at 3 because I think that Brian Kelly could be at 3.
Right.
What
about Beamer?
No, heavens no.
Heavens no.
No, it's like the Lane Kiffin. It's like the Lane Kiffin thing. If you're bringing up Brian Kelly's 2-1 against him at LSU, and by the way, he's what 6-7-3, 6-3 against him all time. I mean, he's beat him 2 out of 3 years. So regardless of what you think about Brian Kelly, wins, losses, whatever, I mean, you can't put him above Venables. Mike Elko's only been a head coach for a year, so we'll see how that one plays out. Not Jeff Lebby, not Billy Napier. He's 2-1 against Nape.
Heupel.
No,
I'm not saying all time, because all time Brian Kelly destroys Heupel, obviously, but
I still wouldn't put Heupel, because I think, after this season you'll put Heupel below Brian Kelly.
Yeah. I'm with you, but I'm saying like right now, based on
I still wouldn't do it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I still wouldn't do it. Let's see who else. Can't be Mark Stoops.
Oh,
Can't be Clark Lee.
Okay. DeBoer.
You could probably have the conversation.
Yeah, I would still put Brian Kelly ahead of DeBoer because he didn't light the world on fire last year, even though he destroyed us. I would still have BK ahead of DeBoer at this point. Yes,
DeBoer,
Kalen DeBoer. I have Alabama in my college football playoff. I do.
Ah, interesting.
I'm in the SEC title game. I do. I'm buying the Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard hype.
How many passes has Ty Simpson thrown?
Not enough. But
37.
But I will tell you that if it doesn't work out, I think DeBoer will find someone to distribute the football to the weapons that Alabama has next year. And I understand Jam Miller's hurt, but as much as it pains me to say, I just have a tough time with DeBoer and Grubb back together. I'm buying into it, Blake, and I hope I'm hurt. I hope I'm totally wrong about that. But yeah, let's go, man.
The wide receiver play has nothing to do with what Ryan Grubb wants to do, and I think it's the biggest lie in college football.
Oh, okay, go on. I'm interested. Yeah, let's hear.
Yeah, they were the number one team in the Pac-12 in rushing at Washington. In the national title game, when the run game couldn't get going, the receivers got locked down. Okay, because Ryan Grubb is like Lane Kiffin. They deceive you by making you think that the pass game is so explosive, but it's not. Everything is set up by the run and RPO and play action. They ran the ball against Texas 28 times in the playoff, 28 with their lead back. He had 154 yards, I think it was. They want to run the football at a very effective rate, more than throwing the football. Go back and watch those Oregon games where they could not get a point on the board until they could start running the football. Everything that they do is based off of their run game. Everything. I think the biggest lie has been when it comes to Ryan Grubb as the OC at Alabama has been, oh, well, Ty Simpson's a better fit for the pass game. It's not the same offense.
Okay.
It literally is not going to be the same offense. Again, we don't look at things that really happened. We covered it. I mean, like Joe and I were there and like, listen, dude, they won the Joe Moore Award because they ran the football better than anybody in the Pac-12 that was actually pretty good that year.
Yeah, no. I will say I thank Washington for beating Bo Nixon and securing that Jaden Heisman because the voters were wrongly going to do the wins thing and vote Bo Nixon there. But yeah, no, I'm with you on their run game. I am going to be interested to see what they're going to do at RB because I was hearing that it was going to be a heavy Jam Miller show. So we'll see, but I'm really talking myself into Alabama being the best team in the SEC this year.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. You're still on the Georgia. You're still with Georgia.
But I think Texas is better than them too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I could see that. I do because it's kind of the square opinion that those three teams are the best three teams when they all have first-year starters and they all are replacing, more so Texas, they're replacing a lot. But yeah, I don't know. That's why I like coming on here because you're able to push back. So I'm pretty pumped up.
They might be replacing stuff, but they got 2 5-star receivers. Moore's returns. The 2 touchdowns that Arch Manning threw was to the 4th wide receiver is now a starter. Their front 7 is the best in the country.
Okay.
You better get with it. You better understand it and get with it. They had 2 edge rushers with 8+ sacks and didn't start. Colin Simmons played a third of the plays last year and had double-digit sacks.
Let's go.
This is what I think about the offseason and LSU to some extent, good or bad. We talk ourselves into takes about what reality is not showing.
Oh, no.
Reality showed us last year that they return everybody in that front 7. Besides a defensive tackle, everybody returns. Everybody. Yes.
No, they lost Broughton and
other than the interior, which I just said.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Moore returns, the white kid edge returns, Simmons returns, and the kid, the 5-star returns. The other kid, what was his name?
Oh, the other 5-star edge for Texas. I'm drawing a blank, but the white kid was Burke, 91.
Yeah, Burke.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Everybody returns.
Yeah.
Carter, the kid that made Gunnar Stockton fumble in the SEC championship game was a freshman.
No, look, I'm with you on Texas. My SEC championship game is Alabama and Texas, but right now I have LSU making the playoff. I think LSU gets in. Let's go.
The only thing about Georgia is y'all go right on ahead and discredit them. Y'all go right on ahead. Y'all are doing the dumbest shit ever. Y'all go right.
Look, you were on my channel the other day telling me this.
Yeah, y'all go right on ahead. And Kirby gonna wax your ass too.
You're buying the dogs, man. Well, there's not much buying. I mean, they're still over under a 10.
Watch what I'm telling you. The running game for them was abysmal last year. They're about to come out and bop some people in the mouth. Ty Simpson, Arch Manning. You want to take the role from them? You want to take the mantle from them? You got to go into Athens and do it. And Kirby ain't going to give that bitch up lightly. Y'all keep talking. Gunnar Stockton wasn't good. Arch Manning threw 2 picks versus ULM. 2. But he gets the benefit of the doubt because he's Arch Manning. Why didn't Gunnar Stockton get that benefit of the doubt? Please tell me.
Oh, because I think Arch is better than Gunnar.
No, I mean, you have no clue.
I have some clue based on the footage.
You don't. We don't have a full season of them. He threw 45 passes, and 3 of them got picked off. One against the worst team in the SEC that lost to Toledo and ULM. In 2 starts, he threw 3 picks against 2 of the worst teams in the country, and everybody wants to walk out here and say, he's going to be better than all the other starting quarterbacks, first-year starting quarterbacks. Says whom? Because you based it off of the last name. If this was Arch Smith, you would not say that now. You wouldn't say it.
No, I've done film studies on them both, and I don't think Gunnar Stockton's bad. I don't think Gunnar Stockton's bad at all. But I feel comfortable that Arch is going to have a better season than him.
Sure, he might because he's in a more prolific offense of what they want to do.
Right.
But you can't. But what y'all do, and I say y'all talk yourselves.
I'm y'all. I am Y apostrophe A L.
Yes, y'all. Like I'm in Arkansas. Y'all talk y'all shit in. Y'all talk yourselves into this shit, and then y'all piss off Kirby. You had him going 8-4. I ain't gonna lie to you. I texted to Kirby my damn self and said, "Whip these asses."
No, I have Georgia at 9-3.
They're not losing 3 games.
You convince me that I go full 8-4.
Okay. And listen,
but maybe
I have marked down every one of these shows where you have said this, and I'm going to send you every link at the end of the season saying you shouldn't have done it.
That's fine. I've gotten some right, gotten some wrong. That's what you got to do, though, Blake. You got to be bold. You wouldn't have gotten to where you are without being bold. And
there's being bold and there's being dumb as hell. And y'all going against Kirby is dumb as hell.
I don't think it's dumb as hell to have Georgia where they are right now.
The worst year that he had was 10-2, and he beat the shit out of everybody. Still. I'm going to promise you this right now. As God is my
now, let me tell you this. Since we talk so much about Gunnar Stockton, of their skill guys, who frightens you on their offense?
Noah Thomas scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah. So outside of him,
I think not Colby Young. I still love Dylan Bell. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with what your logic is. You're talking about skill. And this is where I was going before we got to this.
Okay, go ahead.
They could not run the football last year. I guarantee you that they're going to go in against teams and they're going to punch people in the mouth. The talk coming out of Georgia right now is this offensive line is figured out. That shit don't come. If that shit there's a couple of places when shit comes out of a camp, you listen to it. Georgia's one of them. Georgia is one. All right. Don't look at the comments. They can't save your ass.
Well, look. And Georgia fans are kind of like LSU fans right now with all the offensive line talent leaving and you wanting to believe that the run game is actually going to be potentially better without.
All right.
In their case,
they going to be right.
Ratledge and Jared Wilson out the door. So we'll see. We'll see. That's a fun thing about it, man. I have Georgia at 9. I have Georgia at 9 wins. But you're at Georgia 10-2 or better.
You remember this time last year, you and I have a conversation. I will send you the link. And you laughed at me when I said South Carolina was going to be the surprise team of the SEC. You laughed at me.
And they were good. I give you a lot of credit. They were a good football team.
They should have been in the playoff. They should have beaten us. We got lucky.
No, I mean I would have preferred them being in the playoff over SMU, but I also would have preferred
all you AQ homers.
I would have preferred Ole Miss over South Carolina for sure, though. But I don't want to do that debate. People here want to talk about LSU versus Clemson.
Let's get into it. Your thoughts on Brian Kelly's comments today about the offensive line?
It's the biggest comments of anything that he has said. It's more important than Death Valley Jr. It's more important than anything else, Blake. And I give a lot of credit to Scone, and even as important, Wilson Alexander following up and saying, "Hey, what about DJ Chester?" So, Blake, you've actually been to the practice, and you speak to some of the same people I speak to as far as the offensive line. But I mean, you're Mr. Insider now. This will make your show so great.
Stop that.
Yeah, I've just given you credit, man. I am in the midst of greatness. I'm ready to be old takes exposed by the Georgia Bulldog Nation. Even though, look, hey, I'll tell you this. I should be sunshine pumping Georgia because they've been showing me the most love on my SEC channel over the past couple of weeks. So, truth be told, I love that Brian Kelly provided some clarity on this offensive line. It is interesting, though, how different this offensive line, if it is indeed Carius Kern at right tackle, which I don't think it will be, and then if it is indeed DJ Chester or Paul Mabenga out at left guard and it's Cohen Eccles, that means that there have been so many different variations, Blake, of this LSU offensive line, not only since the beginning of fall, but you factor in spring, and then you even factor in, Blake, the Baylor game, where there was just so many different iterations of that LSU offensive line in that game. And I think right now, the way Brian Kelly broke down the offensive line, that's how I see it as well. All right. So here is.
Which is what?
Which is, I am only committing to the three linemen that I think should start. I'm with Brian Kelly on Tyree Adams at left tackle, center Braylon Moore, right guard Josh Thompson. Okay. I've heard Josh Thompson has had better practices since, the beginning of practice. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I do not agree with that. No.
Do you think he has been better than the left guard?
Yes. No. Okay. Which left guard?
Well, just the left guard in general.
I don't think holistically in the run game he's been better than DJ Chester. No.
Okay. So
I think he's been better in the pass game than DJ Chester.
Okay, that's fair, and you can that makes sense based on their profiles as well. Mm-hmm. But what would you do? Let me ask you this, because you play an offensive line. How would you want the front to line up versus Clemson?
I don't know, because Carius Kern has not been in the position that I want to see him at the most.
And I'm with you as well at guard.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would put him at right guard and move Josh to left just to see what would happen. I would have done that day one, because everything that you're going to play action out of is going to come from that right side. And I don't see people manhandling him. What I do see people doing, for his teammates doing, is out athleting him with speed. But when he gets his paws on you, ask Jack Pyburn what happened. Ask Jack, because Jack was on your show. Ask Jack what happens, because I saw it with my own eyes. Jack tried to get underneath his pad level, and with all due respect to him, he got put in his place. And here's the truth. When 57 has gotten his big-ass mitts on somebody, he's messed them up. That is a fact. There's not an opinion. It's not like we're coming out here just saying, oh, this is an opinion of what we've seen. Bullshit. When he gets his hands on you, you're in trouble. Okay. I have seen him literally ragdoll some dudes that are out there. And I've seen him ragdoll every edge, every one of them. We were out there. Hold on. Pause. We were out there at edge, and Gabe Rutherford tried to do the same thing. Shit. All right. Let that big dude get his paws on you. You're in trouble.
I'm with you on the current hype. Yeah.
But here's the problem. The problem that I have right now at guard is that I've seen way too many tackles for loss in the interior, and I have not – the only envision that I have seen has been that interior on the right side of the defensive line continuously getting beat in the run game. Now, they locked us out pretty much the last week. They've locked us out more than they've ever had. Maybe he has taken a step up. But from my vantage point, the last time we fully got to see them, no, it was not good. And things I heard in the scrimmage, I heard it wasn't good. And you know who else who was at the practice and a little bit of a scrimmage today. I mean, they practiced today. Ryan Leaf was there, and I know you have your reserves on him. Did you hear what he said? Hey, offense, you got smacked in the face today by the defense, didn't you? How are you going to respond tomorrow? That is an exact quote. He was at practice.
Yeah.
He has no bias in this whatsoever. None. So, again, if he's saying that, where am I supposed to be?
What do you so Brian Kelly referenced DJ Chester being a potential offensive tackle.
I think he misspoke on the first one.
Yeah. So do you think Chester can play offensive tackle as
I've never seen him there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what he did in high school.
It would benefit him because if you've noticed, he's very good at receiving blocks. When he receives the block, he can get pushed back, which would benefit him more at tackle. Right? It would benefit him because you can maneuver the pocket in some different and situational things here. Carter, I mean, yes, he's been pushed back into the pocket a lot, but they can't get away from him, though. See, there's a couple of things with Chester I want to point out here, even in the interior. They were pushing him, but he got underneath their pad level so much that it saved him. If he does catch the block, which I hate that Brad does this, but he does it. If he catches the block and you can still maneuver the pocket, he might work better at right tackle, yes.
Yeah, I would be interested because
he's got athletic ability.
Yeah, I mean that he wouldn't have been a top 100 recruit. I mean, he in high school, I mean, he carried his weight well. And in my opinion, when I watched him, so I would seriously give him a look at tackle because
let's see.
I honestly, Blake, I look last year, and this was the shocking thing because Cohen Eccles in the bowl game last year played right guard, right?
Yeah.
Could you see a world, and I'm asking you this before I share my thoughts, could you see a world where Cohen Eccles is indeed starting and or playing a lot at one of the guard spots versus Clinton?
I can't see it barring injury, no.
Yeah, it would be bold, but I would also say that over the past 10 years of Pro Football Focus data, and I disagree with a lot with what PFF has said, of the players that played 400 or more snaps, the two worst players were on last year's offense, and it was DJ Chester and Paul Mabenga. So I could understand LSU saying, look, let's just see what Cohen Eccles has. Maybe when the lights turn on, he's a dominant left guard, and we'll roll with him and see what we want to do at right tackle. But, you know, I did agree with Brian Kelly and the three for sure starters. That's how I would roll it out, and then you figure out what your other two positions look like.
Is this defense really good, or is this offensive line just really struggling? Is that the talk? I mean, is that the question that we're all trying to answer here?
Yeah, it's a mix, and we've seen this. You know, like a few years ago, the LSU offensive line going into the Florida State game in 2022. The right tackle who started the game versus Florida State had some good practices, Cam Wire, and then obviously when the game started, it was tough, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be very cautious of which players actually look great going into a game, because it could just be the matchups. It could just be one of those units just aren't good. Blake, it's probably a mixture of both. I always hate answering it that way, but it probably is. I have moved like Bernard Gooden up on my season-long expectations, but then again, this is a fifth-year, somewhat undersized DT going up against what everyone that has been in practice has said has been the weakest part of the unit, which has been guards, right? Mm-hmm. So I still think Bernard Gooden's going to be a really good player for LSU, and I am really excited about this defensive front, Blake. I really, really, really am. At first I thought that I would feel a little bit more uncomfortable about the DTs going into this game versus Clemson, but my faith in that group has grown based on, with Dominic McKinley, all the hype that has been sent my way about Dominic McKinley. Jack Pyburn in the interview you mentioned a minute ago, I just asked him, hey, who's the guy that's really shocked you from then until now? And he said, oh, it's Dominic McKinley. He could have picked anybody. And he said it was Dominic McKinley. So, you and I have had our thoughts on Dominic and all of that. But if he is having the camp that, we expect him, or that he's had up to this point, you should feel that you're going to get some games where you get some 5-star ROI from this kid who's an athletic marvel on Bruce Feldman's freaks list. So, I've grown on this defensive line, but, we'll see when the lights are on.
Brian Kelly did say today that defense, that he just didn't have the depth that he's had. I do think that they pretty much know who they're rolling out there. I will be real with you. I don't think that they have a second boundary corner yet.
Interesting. Keep going.
They keep rolling everybody and their mama out there at the second boundary corner, which kind of worries me a little bit in the sense of they've put Stamps, Johnson, Pickett, and Woodland. They have not locked. I know for a fact they hadn't locked that one down. I mean, because they're rotating so much. The only corner that's out there every play with the first team is Mansour Delane. Only one.
And I'll back that up. I do feel there's real fluidity. Anyone
they don't know. They don't know.
I've heard basically the same thing. And yeah, one thing I will mention though, Blake, is and this could all takes expose me because this guy is getting a lot of hype going into this next year, and there is some history with LSU here. Tristan Lee can be beat of Clemson. Right?
Oh yeah, that whole offensive line can.
But in particular, Lee had his issues when he went up against like the dudes on the schedule.
And Blake Miller gave up 4 sacks in 7 plays.
So
tackle against Texas.
I had a Clemson guest on this week, Blake, and normally around this time, I'm diving deep into Clemson footage, getting all the practice reports. I am a believer in their Adam Randall experiment at running back. Normally, when a player is switching positions out of necessity, you're kind of skeptical, but that dude is unbelievably athletic and runs with a lot of power for a receiver. Going over to running back. But man, like Clemson, that was the worst ACC schedule that Dabo has ever faced. It's just that simple. I mean, that was the worst Florida State team ever. Wake Forest was ass. NC State, they caught him at the right time at the injuries. That was ass. It was unbelievable. Like when I was watching clips, I was like, well, this isn't really a team that they're playing. And two things could be true at once, right? You could still be really high on Clemson and all that young returning production and some transfer portal guys and an upgrade at DC. But at the same time, their last season, I've heard this plenty of times that was one of Dabo's like better coaching jobs. I could not disagree with that more. I mean, he did fine. But that was, they did what they were supposed to do with what the ACC was last year. So I'm still really high on Clemson going into this game, Blake, but it's crazy how even though they lost in the first round of Texas, it's still overrated what Clemson actually accomplished last year.
You know what's interesting? Everybody has come in and said, and they very well may show this, that this has changed. Their biggest defensive weakness was LSU's biggest offensive weakness a season ago. Carter, they got exposed in the run game. Exposed. Right. I don't care what any of you tell me. That ain't scheme. The yards they gave up on the ground is not scheme. They got pushed around. I don't want to hear, well, the DC couldn't get these guys up. Dog. Blake Baker, Matt House. The same personnel runs out there. We have film of Louisville pushing Peter Woods around. TJ Parker got pushed around by Banks. Pushed around. I mean, mollywopped. He didn't have a tackle for loss against a ranked opponent all year. The thing is that you can't run the football.
Yeah.
If you were a team top 40 in rushing, I'm thinking you're going in there and whipping that ass. I think you'd bend them over and smack that ass. I really do. But it gets to a point where, look, their biggest weakness is our biggest weakness. I mean, it comes down to simple as that. And quite frankly, too, Carter, everybody's talking about this defensive line, and I think that to some extent they're wrong. Against Clemson, let me tell you why. Go back and watch everything that they do. Klubnik, unless they get put in 3rd and long situations, they are getting the ball out of his hands massively quick. They don't want him sitting back in the pocket. Mesh, drags, it doesn't matter. They don't want him sitting back there. Your secondary is going to have to win you this game too. Tackling in space is going to win you this football game. If you lose it, I'm telling you right now, if you lose this game, one massive talking point would be you could not tackle in space well enough. Bottom line.
Yeah, and
they're not going to change schematically offensively. They're just not going to.
One big thing, and this is going to be weird, Blake, from because neither one of us are actually going to the game. I kind of wish I were going to this game because
Clemson's going to live, baby. Post games must live.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is Clemson, when they get a big play offensively, they're going to hit some big ones, right? Cade's a very talented deep ball thrower, and the receivers are good. They're going to hit some. Hopefully, we'll limit to maybe 2 or 3. I am going to cheer like crazy if we shoestring tackle them at the 10-yard line or 15 or 20-yard line, because that very well could be the difference, right? Just making those touchdown savers, right? And that's why I feel so much more comfortable about LSU going into this matchup, because it really was when I was going through and rewatching all the LSU games, there were so many instances where I was like, damn, I wish we could have just made that tackle to make them convert in the red zone. And
our safeties ran away.
Right. And it really was that simple, pushing Jaden Ball into the end zone. I still have nightmares about that, but good luck in Oxford.
Mine's the Lenora Sellers.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that
one's the worst.
Right.
Because you just did that one.
But that's going to be so key. Like just making because West Coast got real breakaway juice. He's very wiry after the catch on those deep balls. So just making those touchdown savers is going to be so big. You know, this was interesting, Blake. This was someone in our Discord. I have an analytics ace, and what he did was he used his numbers, Blake, to run what Clemson's schedule would have been based on their postseason advanced metrics if they had played LSU schedule, what their record would have been. And his numbers said Clemson would have been a 6-6 team had they played LSU schedule. Now, once again, I don't know if I fully agree with that, but it was interesting. And he said his postseason numbers for LSU was like more an 8-4, 7-5 type of team based on what would have told him how the season would have played out. And once again, it's
what's his metrics now?
He just ran those numbers just randomly. It's like, Carter, I just want to do this. Shout out to my guy Emil.
He has some advanced analytics that we're going 10-2 or 7-5.
Well, I'll tell him to go run it.
Yeah, why are we waiting? Yeah. Let's not even play the game. Stop the count. If it's 10-2, stop the count.
Well, that's the thing. It's just a computer. Like I'm a big analytics guy, but that's why I don't fully go all in on analytics, because it's just a predictive measure. But I thought that was very, very, very fascinating. I thought it would have been 8-4, 9-3, but he said Clemson, in theory, would have been a 6-6 team. Once again, I don't know.
They have question marks too, but
yeah, they do. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. LSU has found ways not to finish. A&M, Florida, USC, shit, a couple of years ago, Ole Miss, shit, almost this year, past year, Ole Miss. Alabama, you just got mollywopped, but you couldn't finish. 2 years ago, I mean, the defense was that bad. You started what was his name over Braden Swinson? God bless it. What was his name?
Ovi.
Ovi Agofu.
No.
You started Ovi Agofu over Braden Swinson. How dumb are you, Matt House, to do that? So you have not finished games. You haven't. And listen, there comes a point in time where you got to look as a fan, say you got to go out there and prove it. I know we're all high on this team. And I said this the other night too, Carter. I think this has been the best camp in 5 years for Garrett Nussmeier that I've ever seen. It's not remotely close. We had somebody on our message board bring up all of the last season's practice reports. You know, by this time, this was last Thursday. You know, by this time last year, he had thrown 13 picks in all the practices that we had gone to. By the way, we had been out there the same number of days. We have one. And the maturity level there, what I've seen Garrett do, I think will keep you in more games than at any point a season ago. Bail out on him and watch what happens. Blake Baker came out with a comment. Let me give context to the Blake Baker comment from a couple weeks ago. He called Garrett Nussmeier a pain in his ass on the field. Want to know why? They kept playing quarters. This was non-scripted. It was legitimate LSU defense versus LSU offense. Non-scripted 11 on 11. They ran quarters on Garrett. He kept checking that bitch down. He kept running. He's like, you going to run quarters on me? Watch this shit. He's matured. This is what I'm going to tell you. If Garrett Nussmeier finds a way early to get the ball out in space to these playmakers, and then you can start taking some shots deep, I feel a lot more confident about where you sit. I think Clemson's breakable. But you got to do the early things first. It's like Muhammad Ali. I'm going to jab you 5,862 times. But then in the eighth and ninth round, here comes the haymakers, and you're going down. You're going down. Garrett's done that a lot. And I think he's matured in some of the things that he's done. He can carry you in the first early part of this with this offensive line that does give me encouragement. I don't give two flying shits if you got 1 rushing yard or 1,000 rushing yards versus Clemson. If you can get the ball out to Caden Durham and get 5 and 6 yards and get down, I don't give a fuck what it looks like. I've seen TJ Parker quit. I've seen TJ Parker. I've seen Peter Woods quit. I've seen TJ Parker quit. I've seen Sammy Brown quit. I've seen Woodaz quit. All in the middle of a game. The first time they couldn't tackle Lenore Sellers, go back and watch that fourth quarter run. They gave up. All right. Let 13 get hot. But I don't trust Sloan to put enough in the emphasis of Garrett to toss the ball down to 22 and 29. I don't. I really don't.
Well, you got a few super
chats, yeah. Broad 337 with the $5 super chat says Clemson fans seem to think Cade is running all over us. Are we ready for that? Carter, I brought this up the other night. When's the last time you watched that South Carolina game versus Clemson?
Yeah. Cade ran well.
Oh, shit.
No.
I mean, hold on. Hold on.
No.
This is Nick Emenwari, the South Carolina safety, ran a sub 4.3 40 at the combine. He had a 40-plus inch broad jump or 40-plus inch vertical, and he jumped 11-something broad jump. The most athletic guy at the combine. He outran him. He hit the sideline for 50 yards and outran him. Cade Klubnik doesn't run a 4.3. He can move, brother.
Yeah, Cade's got juice, man. Athletically, he is very elastic, if you will. I mean, his arm's elastic. I mean, that throw in the first drive versus Texas, that was just insane.
Yeah,
right. But
he can move, man. He can really move.
In praise of Cade, he had a massive fumbling issue his first year, and he's worked on it. He works his ass off. He's got a great work ethic. But I go back to the game that really put Clemson on the map last year, which was that SMU conference title game.
Went to overtime.
Yeah, I mean they caught so many breaks. I mean, I stay up late rewatching that game, and that was the last game of the games that I really wanted to like sit and chart and all those things. And there were so many things that went his way, and he did miss Wesco on a deep one that really would have put that game away. But he's very good. I mean, would you say that ACC college version of Cade Klubnik is better than Jordan Travis?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's close, but
no, I don't think it's close. Carter, he had 40 touchdowns and 6 turnovers last year.
Oh,
and
so
by the way, he faced the SEC champion, he faced the runner-up, and he faced a 9-3 South Carolina. So it's not like he didn't play SEC teams. Shit, he played 3 of them. I mean, he obliterated Texas in that second half. If they could get a yard running the football, they will beat Texas. They're on the way coming back. Now, the thing with Texas was, Carter, they played with their food in every game. Every one of them. They did not have a quarterback that was a killer. They didn't. He was a puppy. I mean, he was not a killer.
Yeah. But
they almost lost to Vandy. They almost lost to A&M. I mean, they play with their food.
This is one of the better rollouts of QBs that LSU has ever faced.
Ever.
This season.
Came out at the beginning of the segment. I don't know if you heard me. Carter, I could make the argument today this is the toughest schedule in the country.
Who, LSU's this year? Yeah.
Yes.
You can make a very strong case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're playing. No, go on.
Before we get out of here, I'm going to get this last super chat. I think John Mateer is good.
Oh, yeah.
Always, hey, Dale says, Blake, please tell BK at the press conference to put Kern at left guard. I mean, I'm not doing that.
I'll DM Brian Kelly afterwards saying Blake Ruffino's audience is demanding you put Kern.
I just want to see it.
I do too.
I just want to see it. That's all. All right. Thursday night, I'll be on with you, correct? Did you check your Thursday calendar?
Well, it depends. I have to move the schedule. I got to go to. I have to move my show around. I mean, could you do 5:30 on Thursday? Is that doable?
I can make that work.
Okay, well then we'll do that.
All right.
But shout out to you, Ruffino, and Joe Show, all that stuff. I'm looking forward to doing this. And what's for? Or you eat dinner before, and
yes.
I'm a little worried because you're a shrimp guy, right? You like shrimp.
Yeah. Why would you be worried?
Because this year there's radioactive shrimp out there.
Well, no wonder I've been lifting so damn much,
dude. Because I've seen you eat the shrimp. That when I went to your house last, I saw you eat that shrimp. I should have texted you when the news broke earlier today that there is a recall on the. I think it's the Great Value shrimp or the Members Mark shrimp.
I hadn't eaten any. No, let me tell you what I've gotten addicted to is smoked chicken thighs on the corner.
Oh, bless. How do you season it?
I don't. The little convenience store up here, not convenience store, grocery store, they have a guy that smokes all this food. And so if you want to, you can go and like pick up like dinner. And here's the thing. It's like a family pack for like $6.
I love it. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, I'm saving money, man. I'm Poe.
Dude, it's hard on the YouTube streets, man. It is.
It's hard out here for a pimp when you're trying to get the money for the rent.
Dude.
All the Cadillac and gas money spent, and a whole bunch of bitches talking shit.
Oh my God. But there you go. I kind of want to do on one of your shows, or you can do it on mine on Thursday, is literally write down our boldest takes for the SEC this year, because I love coming on here and talking about LSU football.
Here's a bold take for you. Oklahoma's a playoff team. You say bold take, I don't agree with it, but it's a bold take to have. I think right now they're 8-4, 9-3 team. But if John Mateer is as good as people think he is, that would be a bold take. What's another one?
Okay, here's one I wanted to bring up to you, and I do have to skedaddle, but
okay,
your friend Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered,
yes,
fearless guy. I've seen it. He is.
He don't give a fuck.
Just going after all the big wigs. Next thing you know, he's going to say, "Well, Kirk Herbstreit, you got to do something about that hair." I mean, that'll be his next tweet.
I'm staying out of it.
I am too. I'm just messing. Chris is a good guy. But he did his like projections, and he doesn't claim to be like Dave Vartu or Bill Connolly or whatever. He just tweets out a graphic of his records, right? I would say that how he has his season playing out would be my favorite run out of an LSU season, outside of going undefeated, of course, is going 10-2. And he had the losses at Alabama and at Oklahoma. I would love that. That would be my favorite LSU run out, because more than likely that puts them out of the SEC championship game, which I do not want them to play. And that gets them more than likely a home playoff game. That'll probably put them at a 6, but that would put them at a 5, 6, 7, or 8. Would you guess if they went 10-2?
No, they won't. They wouldn't be that high.
Oh, you think they'd be lower at 10-2?
I think they'd be 7 or 8, 7, 8, or 9.
Right. Okay. 7 or 8 is all you need to host a playoff game.
Yeah. I don't think that they would get, because you got to think about this. The Big Ten's going to have a champion. The runner-up, the SEC is going to have a champion and a runner-up. If you're the fourth team in that scenario, which you would be, because you would be losing to Alabama, and then, is Oklahoma with their schedule, how do you translate that? So again, the way that he has it playing out, you would have the conversation at the end of the year: does LSU deserve to get in over Oklahoma, even though Oklahoma beat them at the end of the year? Oklahoma faces a tougher schedule than we do.
Oh, you think?
No, there is no thinking. There's no thinking, because you would have Texas and Alabama in that schedule along with LSU. So if Alabama, Texas, and LSU all made the playoff, okay, in this scenario, and let's just say they go 1-2 against them, and LSU goes 1-2 against them, then I mean, you just get to that point where the on-play field's got to matter,
right? But what if Oklahoma's not that good?
Well, then you're not having that conversation. You're just saying you couldn't finish.
Yeah. I think
I hate the scenario that you're going 11 and you'd be 10-1, and then you lose the last game. That would suck.
It would suck until you miss the SEC title game.
I want to win the SEC.
What?
If you're 10-1, let's just say hypothetically you're 11-1, and the schedule you just went through, that means that you can beat Texas, Georgia, or Alabama.
Right, in the SEC title game.
And I want to go for it, because I would rather take that first round bye too.
But even after what we saw last year in the first round byes?
It's not going to be that. It's not going to be like that, though.
Yeah, it might not be like that every year, but
it's not going to be like that, because they gave the automatic qualifiers the byes.
Oh, okay. So you think it's going to be different
like that,
because Boise State's not going to have it. Okay,
or Arizona State. Well, because you could literally have 2 SEC teams and 2 Big Ten teams that have the byes, because it's not there's an AQ model, but the seeding's at large.
Oh, look, Mike Guidry's calling me out. He says you need to study more. You question OU having a more difficult strength of schedule than LSU. Then that applies to Blake, because Blake also just said a minute ago that.
I think they got a tougher schedule than us.
Okay, but didn't you say a minute ago you thought LSU might have the toughest schedule in the country?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's great. I'm not to Mike in the chat.
You look at these comments too much. Don't worry about him.
No, I'm meta. I like to get along with Mike. Mike Guidry sounds like a hardworking plumber who's cracking a Miller Lite right now.
Well, the last name Guidry, he's on a shrimp boat, and you already talk shit about shrimp.
I love shrimp. I want the radioactive shrimp. I'm trying to get my
Looking
bench
like the
press.
Hulk.
Trying to get my bench press up. Yeah,
What if the
maybe
radiation makes you grow more hair?
oh, dude, I would be starring alongside Han Solo in a. Do you, are you
I mean,
are you a hairy? But are you a hairy man? I'm not afraid to admit I'm a hairy man. Mm, you're not blessed like us. I mean, Travis
Because
Kelce.
because of the beard, you would think that I'm very hairy. Shaved. Name that movie.
No, I can't. I didn't think you were gonna get the little.
The other guys.
But that's the other guys.
Yeah, remember he goes to Christina's house and then her new husband. He goes, "You think because of the beard, I'm very hairy." Shaved.
Oh, Farrell. What a legend.
It wasn't Farrell. I forget the guy's name, but Farrell was in the movie. But
He was in the movie. I don't remember the line.
Oh, great, a great movie.
Oh, the beginning of that movie is the best beginning of a comedy of all time. I'm sorry. Like I know there's been other
Samuel L. Jackson's line in that. Do you think we want to be having all the sex that we're having because we don't?
I was just kidding. Okay. Oh my god!
I wanted you to talk. Stick my hand up your butt and move your mouth like a puppet.
Oh, Will Ferrell having the hottest wife of all time. Oh my
Gator.
god!
They gave her a nickname Gator. I'm going to watch that movie tonight. You can't convince me otherwise. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Let's see.
All right. Carter the Power Bryant joins us. Any more super chats? Yes, we do. Mello says, how often does the team practice on the field? Every day. Or game field, not every day. They have a game field, three, and then the practice facility. Saturday, and then they practice it this past Saturday, and they'll do it again. Mello on this upcoming Saturday too. We'll be out there for that one. They shifted media availabilities. Thank you for the super chat. Cajun Curveball with a $5 super chat says, "Show me it time, full show me it time for the offensive line. Last year they were supposed to be dogs. We're going to run the ball. How'd that go? Shit, or get off the pot." I don't disagree. I do not disagree. I actually vehemently agree. Vehemently agree. All right. We're out of here. Thank you all for the super chats. We'll see y'all soon. Y'all have a good night. Peace.